What's going on, team? It's your boy G, aka Ginato Sensei. We back at it again with another episode of Ginato Explain. Man, today's episode we're gonna be talking about Attack on Titan. Let's get it. So this episode was all about context, bro. They wanted to give us a flashback of what happened prior to the attack on the Marleyans, man. So it's been 3 years since we first left them on the beach after they defeated the Beast Titan, the Warrior Titan, and the Colossal Titan, man. So it's been a while, bro. It's been a while, and we don't know anything that happened in between that time. So the episode starts with my boy Armin sounding like he's talking to somebody, but for some reason I feel like he's talking to himself from this jump. But we've come to find out that he was literally talking to Annie, who I didn't know they was gonna bring like with them per se, just because I don't know, I knew she was still alive. We all knew that, like, she's been in that cocoon forever, but I don't know how she's gonna play a factor in this union later. But Armin is talking to her, breaking down everything that's had happened so far, from the Marleyan attack to how they first got the ships and all of this, you know, technology from the airships and stuff like that. So he's breaking down everything that has happened so far. So since we didn't know how they even got into, you know, the Marleyan military, or just in general how they have snuck in, they basically break down everything, which is Zeke's revolution. So that's the title of today's episode for me, because when we found Zeke on the airship, not dead like I thought he was originally, whenever Levi basically, you know, bodied him off I thought he was a goner, but then, you know, they had him cut up and tied up, and now he's a prisoner. When they said that his plan went off without a hitch, or somewhat went off without a hitch, I was really confused, because I was like, well, how are they working with him now? So this is all being explained in this episode, mainly through Armin's recollections to Annie, but also to the really tall soldier who I thought was Armin in the beginning of the season. Now, the scouts basically set up an ambush for any ships that tried to dock on the Peridian beach. And from there, Zeke had already sent out his, you know, secret group to basically intercept whoever finds the scouts first, and then offer this deal for information and offer a partnership so that he can help free the Eldians from under the Marleyan rule. Because not only did we get a breakdown of the Marleyan military's full background, but we also got an understanding of how they basically been trying to conquer and have been conquering all these smaller countries and bringing those people in, making those people Eldians, and forcing these other countries to join their forces as they try to become the superpower. And as we've seen prior to this, Zeke has expressed different ways to go about this quote-unquote world war, and they don't really respect his ideas in the larger scheme of things. They want him to stay a warrior and focus on getting the Titans, and that's it. Like, they're not worried about how everything affects the Eldian people, because they're considered lower class than the true Marleyans, and I guess Zeke is just tired of that. So he's hatched his plan to team up with Eren, and not only Eren, but the founding Titans powers and an actual person of royal bloodline, to basically take out the Marleyans and bring peace to the world. Now, I'm not buying this for a second. I don't buy that is his only goal. I don't buy that there's not some other motive that goes behind this. And I can appreciate the scouts being skeptical as well and being precautious throughout this whole episode, throughout these whole 3 years, because we know what happens when you trust people and they end up breaking that trust with everything that happened with Ryan and Bertolt and Annie. Now, at times it might seem a little bit over the top, but I can't blame them for doing things the way that they did. Now, the second part of this episode is what really got me, man, because there's not an episode that goes by where the people that make Attack on Titan don't try to make you cry. Now, we know Sasha died in the last episode, man, so they basically spend a lot of time in this episode reminiscing on their time with her and just how everybody feels about her death. And the one that got me the most was not only Connie's recollection of how he thought that they were twins, and how he feels like half of him is gone now, but also the chef, the Marleyan chef, who cooked everybody's seafood for the first time and basically fell in love with Sasha in the midst of her falling in love with his food. Now, we don't know if anything went past that, but we know how he felt about her based off of that one moment. Then they actually brought her family out to visit her grave, and then everybody was crying, and everybody's basically trying to break down, not only was this worth it, but is it worth it moving forward? Because how many people are they going to lose? Hong explained that even though Eren knew that letting himself be captured, he's going to be putting the scout's life at risk, and they lost about 7 to 8 people in that last attack, one being Sasha. Whereas if they had taken a different approach, maybe those lives wouldn't have been lost. Now, that's just the guilt and suffering that Eren's gonna have to figure out himself, but also it's affecting people like Armin, who was also a huge factor in that dub by destroying the Navy, but also simultaneously killing a whole bunch of civilians, a whole bunch of people that had nothing to do with anything but just were living there. So the latter part of this episode was spent by seeing different characters trying to figure out if fighting is the best way to win, or if it's the only way to win, or is surviving and losing a better option. We don't know how this will all affect things moving forward, but you can tell the type of energy that everybody has. Nobody is taking anything for granted. So what will be the consequences for Zeke's revolution? What will be the consequences for his mutiny? We still have Gabby and Falco in prison, just brooding, waiting to get out. So now what's the plan moving forward? They bought a little bit of time. I just need to know what is his real goal other than freeing the Eldian people, because it's got to be something dope. I don't know what it is, but hope you guys enjoyed the video. If y'all did, smash that like button down below for your boy. Subscribe to the channel for more, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next episode, man. Y'all know the vibes. Always keep growing, skill on speed. Your boy G. Peace.